The fact that Assad comes from a minority background, that he projected himself as a protector of minorities, gave him a ready-made loyalist basis of support, and people can be vehement in his support, not simply because they love Assad, but because they really think that any chink in the shield might, and any change in the system, could lead to, could have dangerous repercussions for their own basic rights. The Alawites in particular were never acknowledged as a legitimate religious community, historically speaking. Under the Ottoman Empire, the confessional system that the Ottomans used, known as the millet system, acknowledged a lot of religious communities except the Alawite. So the Alawite had a historical memory of being marginalized, shunned, and unaccepted. And the only time in history for hundreds of years that they had a chance to be leaders or part of the power-based system was under Assad. Assad played on this a lot. And so here you're talking about change, and people are, the Alawites are afraid that the change will come at their expense. And the problem is, the regime not only played on that, but it also overtly became Alawite. And by playing it in this overt manner, it trapped the Alawite community in this position. The failure of the opposition to come up with a vision and to come up with an elaborate sort of statement on how the rights of the Alawite community can be protected, how they can be protected from being marginalized. It's not enough to say to a community of 10% of the Syrian people that, look, you will have citizenship and equality. 10%, say in a decision maker on a national level, it's nothing. It means that you will never really be influential. Democracy is not simply about, majority rule. There are always some protections for minorities and special considerations, and that aspect was never really understood by the traditional Sunni opposition. They understood minority protections. We won't interfere in your worship. They did not think of it in socioeconomic terms, that it means jobs and investment in infrastructure in our part of Syria, and an ability to be part of the centralized decision-making process, even in a way that may not be commensurate with the demographic size. It has to be a little bit more. That kind of a system was seemed anti-democratic to some Sunni scholars. They did not realize that in fact this is the kind of system that is elaborated in so many Western democracies, and yet it functions and it's viable, and that there is a lot that we can learn here, and that this is how you in fact ease minority fears, by showing them they are not going to be marginalized because their demographic size is so small, but they will be given an opportunity to flourish. These concepts were not part of our culture. So a combination of all these factors made the situation in Syria tough to handle, and made the situation devolve into the bloody mayhem and mess that we see today.